In the view here, you see a weaving loom with a warp stretched on it. This is the Harrisville Designs Easy Weaver size B, which I think they say is a 16-inch loom. It actually weaves to a 14-inch. And because of the way this loom is made, you can also, this is a heddle from a backstrap loom that I had already had warped. And the way the loom works, you have a post there that you hold the heddle on when you use the heddle that comes with the loom. You can also use another heddle because there's no slots for it to fit in. So what I was able to do is take a warp off a backstrap loom that I had already warped and move it to this loom. Now, I have mentioned in the past I was going to make a woven bear, and I think the woven bear has become a dog. Some of you may remember that my dog, excuse me, has been ill and has kind of a vertebrae disease that's going to slowly get worse. So normally what I do is after I lose an animal, I usually can't talk about it for at least 6 months. And I make clay statues, and I am working on one for her. But at the same time, because I know now of this path, I'm making things for her. So here is a dog pattern, and I've made these before. These are, it's McCall Crafts 8550, and I have made the dog before. It comes out cute, and these are suggestions for dealing with grief of losing a pet. Now, I'm also spinning alpaca, and this alpaca, it's cinnamon alpaca, it's the exact same color as my dog. And so as I've been spinning it, I've been planning on knitting a dog, and I'm afraid it might be too close to the truth. I also have some black alpaca, and I was going to make her a little dog friend out of the black because my son's dog is a black dog that is her friend. But like I said, it's too close to the truth, and I don't know how I'm going to feel after I lose her, and I don't want anything to kind of creep me out because it's too close to the truth. So here's another alternative, and I haven't decided which way I'm really going to go yet. I have burlap here. I could line the burlap and have a dog, but it's obviously not soft and squishy. When you have a service dog, I mean, their smell, everything about them is like second nature. And so this is a little bit different than like my cats or my son's dog. I mean, my neighbor had a dog that was an emotional therapy dog that lived till he was 17. And it's not something I could do, but when she lost him, she had him cryogenically preserved. It's what they did with Trigger, the horse. It's basically freeze-drying your dog or animal. And her dog lives in her living room as a statue. And when that happened a few years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to handle that. Because I'd be constantly waiting for the dog to start moving again. I don't want to put myself through that. So here's an alternative. Take a beige or a white weaving and weave, if you have something that's very similar to your dog or cat, weave a fabric. So if I spin this and weave a blanket, and this is alpaca, which won't shrink. This is fisherman, which would shrink. If I weave the alpaca, I would have a brown and white blanket, but then if I wash it in hot water, the alpaca would be more prominent, and it would look more like more brown than white. And I'd have a slightly uneven fabric, but I'd be able to then cut it and use this brown and white woven for the dog pattern, which is a little bit nicer than burlap. Now I can get fake fur, but you know, I don't want fake fur. So I could also get felt. I've looked at felt and velvet. So there are choices. This is a good, easy pattern. My son wanted a dog when he was little, and we had 3 cats. And the poor kid, I gave him a stuffed dog, and he didn't think it was funny at all. But he did love the dog, and the stuffed dog I have now, like this, is like 30 years old. So it's a good pattern. You can throw it around. It's a good stuffed animal. But what I'm suggesting is that you put some distance between you and your pet. And to do that, you can take a fiber like this, weave a blanket that would still be very close to your animal. If I have a knitted dog like this, I'm going to think it's my dog. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't think that'll be overall good in the long term. So put some distance from your pet because you're going to have to move on.